Oakfield Institute is the leading magical academy on the mainland. Every mage who graduates from the academy is at least a Tier 6 arcanist, and many achieve even higher ranks. If we have a Tier 7 arcanist emerging from our family, we might have a chance to reclaim our ancestral heirloom, Horace said, looking at Linley expectantly. Linley felt the weight of his father's expectations pressing upon him. Our family treasure lost by our ancestors is something shameful that needs to be erased, he thought, feeling a heavy burden in his heart. As members of the ancient and esteemed Wolfram lineage, they held their family in high regard. However, the loss of their family heirloom brought immense shame. Both Horace and the generations before him felt deep embarrassment whenever they thought about it. Evan, a leader of the Radiant Conclave? Dennis, who was beside them, exclaimed in surprise. Yes, so what? Linley asked, puzzled. I think everyone in the realm knows about the legendary pontiff Evan Rivers of the Radiant Conclave, Linley said, well aware of Evan's legendary deeds. Evan had elevated the status of the Radiant Conclave and played a key role in forming the Saintly Coalition, a powerful alliance of realms. I never thought young Evan would achieve so much and become a legendary leader of the Radiant Conclave. Dennis sighed. Wait, you know him? Linley was a bit surprised. Reflecting on the past, it became clear that during the unified era of the realm, there were several places of worship within the empire. However, these were all under the control of the imperial authority. Of course, Evan Rivers was a genius. I had predicted that he would reach the hallowed tier somewhere in his 40s. However, I never got to see my prediction come to fruition because I was locked away in this ring. At the time, he was just a wee little boy, Dennis said nonchalantly. When Dennis was alive, Evan Rivers was still just a kid in his formative years. By the time Evan entered the elite ranks, Dennis had already reached the top of Oakwood's hierarchy, including the highest echelons of the hallowed tier, and had already been trapped inside the ring. Even now, Dennis's status was unparalleled, far exceeding anything Evan Rivers could achieve. Were the two of them to cross paths, no matter Evan's current status, he would have to bow with respect. I knew that the boy was special, but for him to become the pontiff is news for me as well, Dennis said with a faint smile. At that moment, Linley felt a growing respect for Dennis. He thanked his luck to have a legendary figure like Dennis to be teaching him directly. Most people could spend every last buck they had and still not be able to have such a good teacher. At the dinner table, the whole family engaged in lively and cheerful conversation. Linley, in a week, I'll have Hillman take you to the capital city Ravenwood to participate in the magic assessment test, Horace said with a smile. Yes, father. Linley nodded. Linley, I believe you will definitely be selected at the best academy, Shane said as he chuckled lightly. Yes, because my brother is the best of the best, little Wharton exclaimed, his hands covered in oil as he chuckled and clapped with delight. Horace chuckled and said, becoming a mage isn't easy. Only 1 in 10,000 people have the aptitude. The requirements to enter Oakfield Institute are even more stringent, as all candidates must possess exceptionally high magical aptitude. If Linley can become a mage, I would be very pleased regardless of which academy he joins. Father, I won't let you down, Linley said confidently. Little did everyone else at the table know he was already as strong as a Tier 1 mage, thanks to Dennis's guidance. A week quickly went by. Linley lay on the grass in the backyard of the family mansion. The Nightshade Rodent jumped around him, constantly squeaking, but Linley didn't pay any attention to it. The rodent's eyes shifted as it stood upright, placing its front paws on Linley's chest. The Nightshade Rodent protested. Linley stroked the Nightshade Rodent's head. All right, settle down. Tomorrow I'm leaving home for the capital city. After the entrance exams, I'll have to go to the academy, and I'm afraid we won't have many chances to hang out together in the future. He couldn't bring the Nightshade Rodent with him to the Magic Academy. Within the Academy of Magic, students were far from ordinary. Many were powerful wizards. If they discovered the Nightshade Rodent, they would likely try to capture it immediately. The Academy housed 7th and 8th tier mages as well, making it easy to catch the little Nightshade Rodent. Since Linley hadn't established a magical connection with the creature, yet others could still capture it. Linley shook his head helplessly, saying, "Don't look at me like that. I know I'm explaining things to you, but you probably don't get it, do you? I'm just not sure how long. It's uncertain how long it will take to complete the course at the Academy of Magic, Linley said, as he stroked the Nightshade Rodent's smooth fur with some reluctance. After spending nearly a month with the cute rodent, he had truly grown fond of it. The Nightshade Rodent narrowed its eyes in comfort as Linley petted it, letting out a contented squeak. In the front courtyard of the Wolfram estate, the afternoon sun cast long shadows. Horace stood tall and straight, looking directly at Linley in front of him. Linley, our village is quite close to the capital city, only 90 miles away. You should reach the capital before dark. Remember, don't cause trouble when you get there. There are too many officials and nobles in the capital city, and they should not catch you doing something mischievous. Our family name is on the line, remember that? Yes, father, Linley responded respectfully. Hillman, I'll leave Linley in your care. Horace looked at Hillman beside him and said. Hillman said with a smile, Lord Horace, rest assured, I'll get him there safe. All right, you can go now. Horace laughed heartily and waved. Goodbye, father, Linley said respectfully, then smiled at Wharton. Wharton, I'm leaving now. Little Wharton blinked, looking at Linley with hesitation. See you soon, Linley. I'll miss you. Linley glanced towards the backyard, thinking to himself, I wonder how the little guy is going to feed himself for this time that I'm away. Beside him, Hillman said to Linley, Linley, don't daydream. Let's go. Yes, sir, Linley replied, acknowledging his uncle's presence. Linley cleared his mind and quickly followed Hillman, quickly leaving behind the home he had grown up in. The Nightshade Rodent, perched on the roof of the building, watched Linley and Hillman depart. From its perspective, Linley was usually out hunting wild rabbits, so it was confused to see him carrying a bundle and leaving with someone else today. The rodent had grown very attached to Linley over the past few weeks. Over the past month, having no family of its own, it had come to see Linley as part of its family. The Nightshade Rodent darted across the rooftops, keeping a close watch on Linley as he departed. Then, with its agile movements, it vanished in a blink from the roof. In 2 or 3 bounds, it reached the roof of another residential house, keeping an eye on Linley and Hillman. The Nightshade Rodent stealthily tailed Linley, and in a short while they had left the village.
Wait, that's not the end. You've just had a free taste. Now get the full story on the Pocket FM app, link in description. Check out our next video and playlist, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.